that if you're on TikTok, if you're on Instagram, you'll see the link in the bio. If you have any questions on how to get the wow.
I see your growth, it's amazing. Always evolving on a daily. She got a smile that's contagious. Got hella joy, don't let them take it.
Welcome back to the Real Joy Podcast. Today I have with me Chloe, and we will get into why Chloe is here and who she is in one moment. But right now we're going to get into this journal prompt. I hope you have your journal by now. If you don't, what are you doing? I keep telling y'all, what are y'all doing? Like, you need this. You need to heal. We're healing all year. Like, this is the year of healing. I'm going to get you a journal, too. I'm going to send you. Yeah, you go. Okay. But
get it.
Exactly. Yes. So today's journal prompt is, what limiting beliefs hold me back the most?
For me, my most limiting thing that holds me back, I don't even know if I'm saying that right.
You're fine.
But the thing that holds me back the most is the fear of failure. And there's so many people that are doing this. What if I do it and it fails?
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm learning, just do it anyway. Because no matter what, if it fails, if it succeeds, who's losing, who's, So, yeah.
I like that one. I feel like for me, kind of like I thought you were about to say, but for me, I'll see something and it'll look like oversaturated, like the market is oversaturated, right? Like when people bring up podcasts, or like, it's like a joke that comes like, everybody got a podcast, like, or like, we trying to take mics from being purchased, like everybody just want to have a podcast. And I think when I hear stuff like that, it can be like a little like, yeah, like, oh, that's how y'all feel, like. But I have to remember, like, what was given to me, my purpose, my vision, my dream, and like it was given to me for a reason. And I can't ignore it. It haunts me and think about it you know what I mean? And I was like, okay, I just need to like do it. So I think that was a limiting belief. And I won't lie, still, I'll get like a glimpse of it if I feel like, what's going to make my podcast be there? Because there's so many, it's going to get lost in podcast land, so, but I keep pushing myself, and I know that, there's a lane for everybody. There's an audience for everybody. So I try not to get lost in that. But I want the audience to also answer these prompts as well, whether you have a journal or whether you don't have a journal. I want you to leave it in the comments, whether you're watching on YouTube, whether you're listening on the podcast app, wherever you watch or listen to the podcast. Start leaving, what your answer is in the comments so we can start that conversation. All right, so I'm going to have Chloe introduce herself and tell us who she is, how old you are, and then we'll kind of get into why I brought you here. Well, first I'll tell them. So I am Chloe's loctician. She is actually a transfer client of mine. So she was already installed, and then she came to me, and I do her maintenance. Right when Chloe came to me, I feel like we just clicked. I just found out she's a Libra, so that makes so much sense. But we just clicked, like it was just super easy. And then we started talking, every time you build that relationship. And the last time I did her hair, she was just kind of sharing with me some things in her life that she not necessarily going through, but some changes and different things. And I was like, wait, how old are you? And then she was like, oh, 24. 22. And I was like, I want to bring you on the podcast because a lot of times in our 20s, I feel like that's when things start to shift, right? Like I'm going to let you talk and then we're going to get into it. So explain who you are. And
my name is Chloe. I'm 22. Yeah. What else? I'm currently in school right now. My transition from my job we'll talk about that. But yeah.
What's your background? Like, do you have any hobbies?
I'm trying to find more hobbies because last year I actually got saved. So my main hobby right now is just, I don't know.
Saved and sanctified.
Yeah. And I'm trying to find new hobbies because my hobbies before involved exactly.
With your new lifestyle.
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
So
I feel that.
Now that it's warmer, maybe I'll find something a little more, but
Do you have like a community? Do you feel like of like younger people that are like newly saved? Like, are you like trying to look for that?
So right now, I actually have a really good community with that because the church that I go to, we have a young adult ministry.
Okay, nice.
So everybody that like I've really connected with, we've been like just getting closer and growing closer together. But I love my community.
Okay, cute.
That's my gang for real.
For life. Okay.
Yeah.
So what does life look like for you right now? Like, I know you say you're 22, you're transitioning. So at first you were working and in school at the same time, right?
Yeah.
And then I think that's what we were talking about during your appointment. You were saying how you had to kind of transition and be full-time in school and kind of give up working. Yeah. So how's that transition been?
So it's been a roller coaster because in like December, I felt like God was calling me out of my job, and I didn't understand at the time, but I just kept feeling like this next season I was entering was about to be like super busy. Yeah. So I was like, okay, it's either I be obedient now or I like suffer the consequences, and because obviously this is not where God wants me to be right now. So I was obedient and I left my job, and then almost immediately after I left, I started getting really busy with ministry stuff. The classes that I'm in are like super hard. I'm taking pre-calc. Well, it's just my pre-calc class that's super hard.
Yeah. Which I mean pre-calc.
Yeah.
Like, I can never.
And I wouldn't suggest it.
No.
But it's, so that class takes up a lot of my time. And then I'm a part of serving the young adult ministry. And because my job hasn't been in the way, I've been able to say yes to a lot more things and not be burnt out. Yeah. Because if I was trying to go to school and then after school go to work and then after work go do my ministry stuff, I would have been too stretched out.
God wanted more of your attention and more of your time.
Exactly. Yeah.
So what did you imagine your 20s to be, right? Like, I feel like when you're like 16 and 17, you're like, ooh, I'm going to be 20. I'm going to do this. Life's going to be so great. So did you ever have like a vision of what your 20s was going to be? And then how do you think now being in your 20s, how, like, were you let down?
When when I was younger, I thought that I was going to be young and turn. I thought I was going to be traveling everywhere, going this place, that place. And I thought my 20s were going to be a lot different. I was going to be living on my own. I was going to have a good job and doing all this. But I had, like, when I turned 19, I realized that none of that was going to happen.
Because how?
At all. It was coming too quick.
If you really think about it, though, how does that even work?
Like, if I would have went to a 4-year college, I would have been graduating college when I turned 21. I thought I was going to be living the luxury when I turned 21.
It's like, where does the luxury come?
Right.
Like,
where is this dream coming from?
We got to get some income up under our belt. We have to figure out. We got to get a job. We got to work that job. Yeah, okay. We got to work our way up in that job. Yes, for sure. The money for real. Okay, so I know, like, in my 20s, I was just, so for some reason, I don't know why we think in our 20s we're supposed to have it all figured out. I don't know where that came from.
Complete opposite.
I honestly, like, and then I got to my 30s, right? Then you hear people in their 40s. I don't think there's a set time where you're supposed to have life figured out.
There's not at all.
No.
Life changes so much. You can't figure it out.
You can't. There's things that are out of our control sometimes. There's surprises. Sometimes you think you're supposed to go this path, and God says, haha, just kidding. I want you on this path. Right. So I think that if I could go back in my 20s, one of the things I would have wished I would have learned is how to be more adaptable, right? Like how to like not spend so much time trying to have control over things. Like, it's good to have a path, but also adapt to new ideas. And, you know, I love how you just said, oh, I'm saved now, so I'm adapting to this new way of life. I think that that's what 20s is really about. So I'm glad that it sounds like you are aligned with that, and that you're able to just kind of like, okay, now I need to shift this way. And not getting so caught up in like the anger or like the misunderstanding of the shift, just going along with the shift. So, how would you describe the pressure of being a young woman today?
I feel like it's more so of a pressure to be independent. Like me and some of my friends, we were talking about this yesterday. Like the independent woman thing is like so like, especially on young women in their 20s. It's like, okay, we want to be in control.
Yeah.
And we want to be able to do everything by ourselves. And it's hard for us to accept that we can't and that we need help.
Yeah.
But it's like, if we don't accept that, we're going to burn out.
You're going to hinder yourself.
Yeah.
I had someone tell me, an older family member tell me, if someone gets to a certain point in their life and they say that they did it with no help, they're lying. They're lying.
They have to be.
And I think that help looks different. Like sometimes it could just be supporting someone, like, and it doesn't have to be financially. It could be giving that sound advice, being that ear. So I definitely think that being open to help is definitely something, once again, that if I could go back in my 20s, I would definitely, and not being afraid to speak up and ask for help, right? Because sometimes I think that we think people
are just going to come to us.
Yeah, or that they know what we're going through, right? Like,
don't.
You see me struggling, you see me over here, it's like...
And I never did.
I didn't know you were struggling. Because you look cute, you look fine, your hair done.
You smiling, I thought you was okay.
You're giggling, you're laughing, I didn't know you were struggling.
Bust down?
Yeah, I didn't know you were fighting for your life. Nobody knew. You didn't tell us.
No.
And I think sometimes we go harbor that in, like nobody's helping me. Like, what in the world? And it's like, well, you didn't ask for help. And we didn't know you were struggling.
Had no clue.
So for you, does social media affect your self-image, your mental health, or like your expectations of life?
It used to, because it was like, I always was very insecure about my body type and the way my hair looked and the way that I looked. So it was like, and I was just seeing all these social media, like, beauties.
Influencers.
And they all had a certain look. So I was like, I gotta look like that.
Yeah.
But then I realized, like, no, I'm who I am. And I was created like this for a purpose.
Yeah.
And I had to change my feed because it was like constantly, that was all I was seeing. And I'm like, why don't I look like that? Why can't I look like that? I was going to the gym to look like that instead of going to the gym to feel better.
Exactly. For yourself. I remember having this conversation with my friend, and she's a plus size girly too. And she was complaining about not seeing people on her feed that look like her, and I was like, oh, I can't relate. Because every influencer on my feed, I don't know how it happened. I didn't do it on purpose. When I tell you, bomb ass plus size girlies, the cutest, hair done, outfits, everything. And I'm like, I'm always inspired. Like, I feel like when I hear people talk about social media, for me, I find it as a place of inspiration. Yeah. Like, I'm like, ooh, okay.
Yeah,
like,
if you did it, I can do it too.
Yeah, like, okay, outfit, okay, where she, okay, I might can't get that outfit, but I'm gonna get this inspiration. So I feel like it's all about mindset, like, when it comes to social media. And I love that, because usually when you ask somebody that question, they go right into the comparison, and I feel like I'm not good enough. So I'm glad that you are so young and that you already have overcame that. You've already curated your timeline to be exactly what you need it to be. So that's good.
I don't think that people realize that we are in control of what we see on Instagram. Like, the algorithm, the algorithm depends on what you're liking and what you're talking about, honestly, because I talk about something that's on my feed the next day.
Literally. Like, no, it's true. Yeah. Because, like, all I see on my, like, even reels, it's, like, always, like, affirmations or always other content creators talking about, like, how to do this or be, like, it's always, like, funny and inspirational things. So when I hear people talk, I'm like, what side of Instagram are you on?
Right, because I ain't never see that.
Yeah, I'm like, that's a you thing.
Right.
Because that's not on my feed at all. So y'all need to take control and accountability for your Instagram.
Some of the things I be seeing, I be like, how did you come across this?
Yeah, I'm like, don't share that to me. I don't
want it.
I released that.
I don't want to watch it at all.
My DMs. So I don't need my Instagram looking.
None like that. No, please.
Absolutely not. So, what are some silent struggles that you feel like people in your generation? What generation are you?
that middle gray area.
The gray area. So, like, what is it? Like, Generation Z and Y, X, Y, Z?
So, like, it's hard because late 90s kids I can relate to.
Yeah.
More than I can relate to, like, the early 2000s.
Okay,
like, after 2004, I don't know what...
What's going on.
No.
Another...
Yeah. But, like, I know, like, a lot of, like, late 90s kids, I know exactly the things that they're experiencing because I experienced it, too. I had the opportunity to. But after, like... So, it's like that middle gray area.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know.
So, what are some silent struggles that you feel like your age group experiences, but y'all don't really talk about? But maybe y'all talk about it with each other, or maybe your friends, but, like, we don't see it on social media, or, like, y'all don't really tell your older, you know, like, what do you think that looks like?
I think that one of the most silent struggles that we deal with is the pressure of being accepted. Because a lot of times we're trying to be accepted by the older generation, but also I feel like my generation is half and half, because half of us are trying to be accepted and half of us really don't care. Like, so it's like that. And then a lot of, like, we've been through a lot of trauma.
Yeah.
Like, a lot that we don't talk about. Everybody. So it's like...
Where do you feel like that trauma stems from? Is it, like, trauma from school? Was it trauma from, like...
I feel like a lot of it is family trauma that the families don't know about. Like, it's
like
stuff
generational
that...
curses
Yeah,
and
it's
the way
stuff
people
that,
treat
like...
people.
Exactly. Like, stuff that you wouldn't think would cause trauma on, like, on my generation. So it's like... It's we have a lot of silent struggles, but I feel like it changes per person.
Yeah.
So, but those are definitely the biggest that I've seen.
What's something that you wish the older generation understood, or something that you can, like, if you were able to go to the older generation, right, and respect be out the way and everything, like, what would be your message, or what would be your takeaway? Like, what would be... In order for them to get you to understand what you just said, what do you think your message would be to the older generation?
That there's nothing new under the sun.
Yeah.
Like, that everything that we're going through and that we're doing, it looks different than how it was done in the past, but it's literally the same thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, I feel like a lot of the older generations kind of look down because it's like, oh, well, y'all doing this at such a young age, but y'all was coked up.
Let's talk about it.
Like,
and they didn't have social media.
No.
So what they did was
they don't have no track record.
They don't have a track record, but they was wild, young, and turned.
Girl.
What's that called? Freak
the
Meet?
Freak Meet, yeah. Like, did you see that? I was like, whoa.
I know. Y'all was back there with them finger waves. Like, don't play with me. Y'all wore booty shorts.
Pretty short.
All that. It's
like,
just no, for sure.
Yeah, they didn't take pictures of it. And, like, I guess now it's more publicized.
Yeah.
But if they had Instagram and TikTok and all that, yeah.
It would be the
literally.
Same. No, I agree.
So it's like y'all looking down on us for stuff that you used to do.
No, I definitely agree with that. So do you feel like as you're getting older, right? I feel like there comes a time when you're coming to be a young woman, right? Where do you see, like, any relationship shifting with family members or friends, like trying to find your voice and trying to be independent? Do you feel that at all?
Definitely with a lot of my friends, because it's like I said, I got saved, and a lot of my friends before I got saved, just they weren't saved, and they were leading me to things that I was trying to leave behind. So there was definitely, like, a shift in that aspect, where it was like I was trying to still be with them, but not be with them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like, y'all weren't aligned anymore.
Yeah.
So it's like, I can be with you,
but I don't.
But the activities you're doing and the way you're carrying yourself, I can no longer.
Yeah. And it's like, y'all don't want to do the things that I want to do anymore.
Yeah.
So,
it's not gonna work.
Yeah. So that was definitely, like, one of the biggest shifts I've had.
And do you feel like they're like, you think you're better now? Or like,
I
you change, you different?
Yeah,
Like,
they definitely. I can definitely see that, but it's like they don't show it like visibly, but you can tell in like the demeanor change that it's like, okay. So a lot of my friends that I had before, I don't really talk to now.
Okay.
Because I kind of know that that's where it kind of went.
So you feel like you kind of just, like it was a natural shift, right?
Just a natural exit.
Yeah,
and
like,
it was
we
like
don't really align anymore.
but those still my people, and I still love them.
Yeah.
But it's like I just can't.
No, I feel that.
I'm not on the same page anymore. So,
do you feel like, as your 22-year-old self right now, do you feel like you're living, or do you feel like you're surviving?
I feel like that's more of a mindset thing, because I did at one point think that I was just surviving, but it's like once you realize that every moment is like cherishable,
It's a
and you
blessing.
cherish it, like it kind of changes your perspective to I'm living, because I'm honestly doing less than I was before, but now I feel like I'm actually enjoying life.
Yeah, you're able to take moments in. Like, I feel like sometimes we're in the survival mode where we're just constantly going, but sometimes we clear our plate and we don't realize that it might not be to add more things. It's just literally
To just be.
And to appreciate where you are right now. Like, I think that's a lot. When you talk about your 20s, I feel like people were always thinking about, like, what's the next move? What's the next step? I need to be here by 25. I need to be here by 30. But there's something about just being okay and being where you are.
And those expectations of I need to be here by then, it leaves room for disappointment, because you're not going to get there.
Or you're going to start doing things that may not be aligned just to hit a mark that was not given, that was just, you know what I mean? Like, in my last episode, I talked about me getting a divorce. And I feel like one of the main reasons why I got married was because I said I wanted to be married by 30. So I literally got married. So crazy. I literally got married. My birthday is on October 22nd. I was 29 years old and I got married October 17th before I turned 30.
Oh, you was determined.
What?
Yeah.
But look where that got me.
Yeah.
Because did God tell me that I need to be married before I was 30?
But he used it.
That from?
He used it
for my good. Yeah. So it's just things like that we really have to be careful. Like, who told you that?
Right.
Where did you get that idea from?
Just pulled it straight out of your behind.
No, for sure. Okay. Like, so how do you define success for yourself?
For me, it's just, for me, success is just going to look like me being happy where I am, regardless of where I am. Like, even if I'm not what successful norms are, it's just me being content where I am and just happy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I'd rather be happy and poor than rich and sad. Like,
let's talk about it.
Because a lot of these people that got the munions,
they're not happy.
They're not happy at all.
And when you get to a certain level and a certain status, I feel like now you have this anxiety of staying on, right? Like, I want to be able to afford the next season's best thing. So what do I have to do to keep on? And I feel like when you're just happy and regular, you can make the rules for yourself. Okay. I'm not going by anybody's rules but my own.
You ain't got nobody watching you.
No. Not at all. I'm going to keep shopping on
Shein.
Okay.
And Amazon.
Okay. And that's going to be it. Nobody's going to talk about it. If they do, I don't care.
Oh, well.
Because that's what I'm going to do.
I got my outfit for cheap and I look cute.
Yes,
okay. That's it.
Yes.
That's it.
So if you could rewrite the rules of being a young woman in your standards, what would that look like? Like, if you could tell all young women, let's forget because let's really talk about it, right? Like, on social media, like we're saying, you don't see... I mean, I feel like we're saying we curate our social media to be what we like, but before that, what they push on our timeline and what's being given to people is not what we're talking about today. So we're talking about the BBL culture. We're talking about looking a certain way. We're talking about the music industry kind of changing the way we think about ourselves as Black women. We're being pushed into a certain image, right? Like, let's talk about it. So I think that when you look at that, how would you tell young women, like, you don't have to look at this, like, you don't have to go this route? How would you rewrite the rules for them?
I would say, like, the number one is just be who you are. Like, your body don't gotta be tea. It don't. Because at the end of the day, like...
They talk about you for having the natural
exactly,
body. But then when you go get your body done...
He's still talking about you.
Love
So it
yourself.
don't matter for real.
But it's like...
And then all that surgery, that booty gonna deflate, girl. I ain't gonna lie. You gonna sit the wrong way, it's gonna be gone. Like...
No, for sure.
Like... All that, what is it? The silicone and the gel.
Silicone and all that stuff.
It's stiff. It don't shake for real.
And it's so sad because... Do you have anybody that you look up to right now in social media or like media?
Not really, because I realized long ago that I can look up to somebody in social media and they could be portraying one thing and be a whole other thing.
They can live a life just like yours.
Yeah, exactly. Or worse. Yeah. Like everybody has secret lives, regardless. Like, look at Diddy. I didn't know he was doing all that. But
we ain't know about Diddy.
Yeah. We did not know about Diddy.
We didn't know about Diddy, yeah. And there was somebody somewhere looking up to Diddy.
Okay. And wanting to be Diddy. There was a lot of people looking up to Diddy.
No, for sure. I think that it's sad, right? Because I have a 10-year-old and she loves SZA. She's always loved SZA. And I love SZA. That's how she got to love SZA. I used to... Like her first song that she I have a video. She's in the backseat like, I need. She was like 2. But now me seeing SZA being so on one end, right? Like I love, no one signed SZA up to be an idol, right? Yeah. Like no one signed her up to be somebody's, oh, you look up to SZA. No, SZA's just living her life and doing what she feels like she needs to do for herself, for her body, and for her comfort. So that's like one thing. But I'm almost a little sad for my daughter because she's seeing her starting to like change her body and kind of like, SZA was such a natural
she was
girl, and she was just like brown skin and
she was
beautiful, had the broad nose, the big lips, or like the she still has like the kinky hair. But now I'm starting to see like she's doing lip fillers and she's like messing with her face and the BBLs, and I'm just like, I wonder what that does for a younger generation. And that's just some things I think about. So I hope that she will be like you at 22 and be like, okay, I don't have to look for these people on social media. I don't have to, like, I want to be myself and I can like make my own self-love and self-worth and all those things. So
because there was a point where when I was younger, I followed like all the female artists in the industry. But then I realized like, and I thought that like all their body shapes was natural. And then I realized, I was like
how?
It's
like copy paste. Paste.
Every time. And they all have the same shape. And it's like, okay. And then Glorilla came along. I was like, okay.
Like, okay, I can get with it.
Shaking that little thing. Okay, I got you.
No, for sure.
It's like, it's just like, why? Like, why? You already have your natural beauty. And a lot of them, their bodies were T before they even got the BBL.
Yeah.
And then the BBL just like...
Yeah.
Why? Like,
why'd you do that?
And I think that that's like where a lot of young women need to understand. Like, you could get a BBL, it's going to look crazy. Regardless. It's going to look fake. Like, just... It's just not
look what you have.
Yeah.
And what's really interesting too is I feel like every person who does it, like how SZA just came out recently and said that she regrets doing it. And I feel like they all have that moment. And it's like they heard someone say that before them. And they go get it themselves. And then they have to be like, I regret doing this. Like, it's lit, but my body's not the same. I'm having complications. So it's like, that's just so crazy that we have to, like, go through things ourselves to, like, see it for ourselves.
And it's like a lot of people, they promote it as like, oh yeah, y'all go do this, but they're not talking about what's going on behind the scenes,
the complications,
like, exactly, and how much it hurts,
and
what
and
they can't do.
Your body's just never the same.
No, it's
like
not.
That's one of the things I hear. Like your body is just like never the same. So, do you have any advice you want to give to someone who is your age, not in your 20s, or even someone younger, right? Because I always say pass the torch down. So maybe someone who's younger than you who can't wait to be 20 and, just give them like this real relatable advice.
Your 20s is not going to look nothing how you imagined it. It's going to be completely different no matter what you do to try to set it up to look a certain way. It's not going to look that way. And it's like, don't be disappointed when it doesn't look like that, because at the end of the day gotta end. So
it's your journey.
Exactly.
It's your path. You shouldn't be curating it to look like someone else's. Don't have this comparison thing.
Yeah.
Don't get caught up in that, and really just figure out your own path, your own journey, and figure out what that looks like. Get caught up in that, like figuring out what's going to be for you. Okay, what do I like? What are my hobbies? What brings me joy?
Yeah.
What don't I like? And really, find your way through that path.
Because that comparison, you could be trying to live up to how somebody else is living. And you don't even realize that behind the screens and behind the cameras, they set up this whole pretty thing in their room to get ready with me, and then on the other side of the camera, what does it look like? It's in shambles.
You see is
that
what y'all see now. Y'all don't even know where we're at right now.
Have no clue.
Have no clue what anything outside of this frame looks like.
Exactly.
And there you have it.
It's like they could be getting beat behind the scenes, and you're like kind of
idolized, like
and
that happens a lot. I think that, and that's why people are so shocked, right? When we have this idea of these celebrity
and it comes out,
it comes out, and I know that everybody's like goals. Like
no,
it was
no.
so funny the other day. I bust out laughing. I had an older client. She, I think, is about like in her 50s or whatever, and she was talking about Remy Ma and Papoose. And she wasn't meaning to be funny, but she was like, didn't Remy Ma and Papoose just get a divorce, and now he got another girl and blah blah blah? And I was like, yeah, that happened. And then she like took a moment, and it was like 30 seconds went by, and she was like, so much for Black love.
Right,
because you know that they were like the headlines for Black love. They had the song where it was just so funny how she thought about it. Like in her mind, that was her like example. Black love. Like that's what they represented. And now she's like, so now what? Like what represents Black love? I'm like, girl, you and your husband can represent Black love. Like you don't need you don't need Tiana Taylor and her man. And mine. I'm like,
because I used to love them. I was like, oh, y'all so cute. Nope. And then look at who is it? I think it's Coyle Ray and Trippie Redd. I think it was.
Oh, see, that's
I don't know who that is. I did not look up to them at all. But everybody was like, oh, I need this is what I need, da 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 da. He cheated on that girl. Bad.
Real bad.
Like, so I don't need that on it.
But also too, I feel like on the other side of that, imagine the pressure that they have to be this couple to people and to be this representation. So when they're going through it, they're probably like,
dang, can't even talk about it.
No, I know Cardi B be wanting to take her man back and not have everybody in her business and just be regular. Because how many regular people take y'all man back?
Yeah, do. About 50,000
Y'all break up with him on a Tuesday and take her back on a Wednesday night.
Okay.
And via Cardi's comments.
Tuesday morning.
Sis, we believed in you. I thought this was the last time. As you're laying next to the one that you took back that morning.
Okay.
Like,
told that man to get out on Tuesday morning. He was back by 12 o'clock.
You packed his stuff on Tuesday, burnt his clothes
threw it
Tuesday
out
afternoon,
the window.
and now y'all going shopping on Wednesday for him some more stuff.
And you paying for it.
You're paying for it. So leave Cardi and them alone,
Okay,
y'all.
please.
I'll be doing that stuff.
Please.
In their privacy of their own homes.
You just don't be posting about it. You don't have no influence.
Leave the folks alone, okay?
Right.
But thank you so much for coming through and chatting with me. I might see her again. Y'all know I love to bring people back, so.
And I'll do it too.
I'll do it. And I'll do it again.
And do it again.
And she gonna get a journal. So next time you're gonna talk about the journal, how the journal has. Yes, that's what we're gonna do.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of The Real Joy. Please like, comment, and subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube. If you're on Apple Podcasts, that service, whatever that is. Yep, Apple Podcasts. You can like and subscribe on there too. You can like and subscribe no matter where you're watching. So I will see you next time.
I can see you making moves. The chosen one, we steady chosen you. She dope as hell, but she a Libra too.